Hello everyone, Justin with 511 Designs. Wanted to share with you our latest product. This is a skid plate for the Kubota 60 series tractors. And as you can see, it covers all the way from the front of the brush guard all the way back to the pivot point and is supported by the frame. This is made out of 7-gauge steel. As you can see in the front, it's able to close up that gap a little bit where the guard needs to pivot, and also offers some chain storage or whatever you'd like to store there. So we had a customer call that said he had a stump come up between the frame rails on the tractor and take a fitting out on the steering controller. He thought that he could just go buy a part for that steering controller and replace it or rebuild it, and found out that unfortunately you can't do that. You have to buy the entire steering controller at a cost of about $1,700. In his case, about $2,400 with labor. So he gave us a call. So we developed this skid plate out of 7-gauge steel, fully supported by the frame and the brush guard itself. I'm going to go through the installation process on it, but basically you just install this bracket in between the frame rails on the tractor, then install these bolts into the bracket, and then this piece locks in with this tab and sandwiches the brush guard on the front. And these holes here where the bolts go, it is directly on top of that bracket. So once these bolts are in, this plate can't come up, can't come out of those grooves, and it will not move. So what I've done is, first I just took this exhaust tip off. You can probably get this all together without that coming off, but it just makes it a whole lot easier to get this bolt in. So what I've done is put the bracket up in there. As you can see, the mounting bolts are forward of these rib nuts that are going to be used to attach the skid plate. So just put those in, snug them down. So now what I've done is I've just set this up here and put these two bolts through the front, and it's just staying there because it's resting on this. So now you can start installing those bolts in the rear, going into the rib nuts. And if you happen to have front tie downs from us, no worries, this will still mount with or without the tie downs. That's the reason for this slotted hole here, as well as that small gap on the back. And if you don't have the tie downs, the whole guard will just shift backward. So with or without the tie downs, these will work. So we'll finish up putting those two bolts in. You get those in, don't have to tighten them at this time. I've just backed those bolts out a little bit to make getting this clamp in here easier. May have to lift up slightly. And go ahead and tighten those up. Go back down to the back here, tighten those two bolts up. And as you can see, this is supported by the full length of the brush guard back onto the frame, and then it steps down slightly because it picks up this back support here. So this is for the 3560. We have the other ones in process, a couple of prototypes right now that are going to cover the 4060, 5060, 5460, and 6060, and then we'll come back later to the 4760. Last thing to do is just install this exhaust tip.